Back to BenDayDots. We have our final that we created last week, and this week we're going to add these into 4 quadrants, working with our color schemes: analogous, split complementary, triad, tetradic, and also working with monochromatic background scheme. To start out, what we're going to do is we're going to look for our, whoops, I'm in the wrong area here. There we go. There's our template. It does look like a white little place again, so we're going to go ahead and add our guides on. Let's go to Window, to view, the View menu, to Show, and whoops, Show Guides. And again, Command semicolon. There's our 4 quadrants, and we're going to place our original in quadrant 1, and then I kind of work from there. So we've got our template, and we're going to go back to our original file here for a second. BenDayDots, and we're going to place everything except layer 0 in a folder, and we're going to bring all this into our other folder, okay, our new file, I'm sorry. So I'm going to select the first layer. I'm doing a shift click on the last layer, which selects it all, and I can click on the folder down here in the folder icon. Of course, everything's available in the flyout menu also. New group, that would work there too. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on folder, and there's group 1. You should be able to click and drag this into our new file, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a duplicate group, and there's our copy, and I'm going to put it into my template. Okay, that should be the right one. So I hit OK, and then I'll go back to my template. Oh, I stuck it in the wrong one. I've got too many files up here. So it's going to go into Becker BenDay template. Let me try that again. Okay. Right click, duplicate group, putting it into Becker Julie. All right, and group, and let's go make sure this works this time. Okay, there's my group 1. Now it showed up there because I probably had this layer selected first. I'm going to go ahead and move this up here. So I have group 1. It's coming in that way. And don't forget to add your name. And then we're going to work with colors too. So that's going to be something very, very important for you to list as you go through. So we've got our file in here. And now we're going to go ahead and resize it. So I've got group 1 selected. Transform, scale, and kind of zoom up in here. And I do want to jump up in size and scale so I can see what I'm doing and make sure my quadrant's full really well. I am holding my shift key down, but also, well, it's up here. When you first started, this was 100%, the width and height, and this is linked, and that'll keep it in proportion as well. Okay, so I've got it in my quadrant. This is now group 1. We're going to need it in all 4 groups. So I'm going to go and move this over here, and I can duplicate the group and name it number 2. I'm going to put this down here to keep them kind of, make sure you don't stick them inside each folder, but right below in between layers, there's group 2. You can click and drag to the folder. I don't like the way that worked though. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. Can I edit undo? There we go. I can duplicate this way too. I think I did that last time. Duplicate 3, putting it right below, and right click, duplicate group, and make this number 4. And bring that back down too. So I've got it in order, okay? Now I want to move these over so they are all in one. How did they go? 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. Okay. So group 2 needs to be over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck auto select so I know that the layer I'm selecting is going to be moved. So if I'm going to click and drag, I'm going to hold on my shift key so it stays in line. There's 2. Group 3 I know is in here. Again, selecting the layer first, clicking and dragging down, shift key keeps it in line. and group 4, bring down, and whoops, and pop that into my 4 quadrants. Okay, there we go. That's what it looked like at this point. So making sure you're labeling all your layers so I can find your work and you can find your work too. All right, number 9. Requirements. You're going to be working, I'll go ahead and move this up here real quick. Requirements. Analogous, triad, split complementary, and tetradic. Okay, so you're working with harmony rules. They're listed on the template. You're going to be working with a base hue. That's going to be in all 4 variations. I'll go through that in a little bit, but it's definitely written down here in the written instructions in the slides. Okay, and the background of each image must have the same luminosity level, and I would worry about that down the road a little bit further. Okay, so you got to work with your analogous colors, then the triad colors, 3rd is split comp, 4 is tetradic, but choose a base hue. So down here, if you're using blue, blue must be in every quadrant. Different places, please put it in different places and make this interesting. If you use red, it's got to be in every quadrant. So if you're using red for analogous, red has to fit within the triad color scheme then too. So we've worked on that quite a bit. I'm sure you understand how that works. So we'll go ahead and work with this a little bit. Okay, so how do you fill your colors? Let me go up here and zoom into the first quadrant. Okay, I'm going to open up group 1 and select it too, and you're going to start working with your colors. Okay, what are my colors? I forgot. I should have gotten that out a little bit. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I can simply go to, here we go. I don't need that anymore. I've got too many files open. I don't need that one up anymore. Don't save it. That's my completed one. Here we go. So red, purple, purple, and blue purple. All right. And it looks like purple or violet is in every one of them. So that is my beginning color scheme, purple, analogous. So I go to my analogous color scheme and find out what's next to purple. So it's red, purple, and blue purple. So I'm going to go in here. And what you can do, let me do this. If I go in here, I'm going to jump this up in size real quick. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Each quadrant will be, there we go. I'm just going to take a quick picture of this. Okay, that's my color scheme. Make this nice and small again so I can see where I'm at in my instructional information here. And I'm going to just take this screenshot and pop it right into my layers. So it's above everything else, but I've got it. So if I know I need to use purple, blue purple, and red purple for analogous, I know I can use these colors. I could easily use my eyedropper and it's like, okay, purple. That's going to be purple. Let me go to the neck. It's probably purple already, but I'm going to make sure I use the same color everywhere. I can option delete and choose that. If I want the lips to be that too, option delete. This again, it's on the Mac. All right. You can also go to edit and fill. It is fill. Okay. But this is definitely, if I double click here, if I double click, I can always go back and choose a color that I want to fill with. Okay. So double click any shape and use a color picker to fill, or the option delete works, or option, now I'm forgetting. Yeah, option delete will fill the foreground color with any shape that you have on. So again, I've got purple in here. Let's see what else I can do. I can go to the face and I can make that the red purple, red violet, and I'll choose, the hair looks really good. click there, Option, delete, okay? Or I could go to lips and click on the color picker if I wanted to fill, okay? So again, 3 colors, purple, now I've got blue purple. I'm gonna make the face purple, so I'll double click here, choose purple, and then the background. Now if you feel this is gonna fill everything, the entire page, okay, but we just have a small block of color, I wanted to lock my pixels, and then I can choose the dark, okay, the blue purple, and again fill it that way. So that's one way to fill. Okay, so if I go to the next one, and I know purple is going to be something that has to be in there, and I'm going to put that in the hair this time. So going to group 2, go to hair, and that's the wrong purple. I need to do this. Let's double click here and choose purple. Boom. Now if you want to, you can honestly go to the hex code here and type this in when you go to the color picker. So if I'm not quite sure what color I used, I can go in here, copy it, hit OK, and then go to the layer and then fill it with that, paste that hex code in there. Okay, so analogous colors, that's not what I'm doing here. This one's going to be different. It's going to be a triad. So again, it's going to be purple, which is here, and then it would be blue-green and red-orange. Now, how do I get it? I'm sorry, orange and green, right? I don't have it down here. But triad, again, is one. Okay, so we're going to green and orange. So I could, again, use this color wheel if I want to. Group 2, let's see. I'm going to use orange. So on the face is orange, but let's use this color. You don't have to do this, but it's just kind of a way to kind of work through it. Double click it, and let me click on, I do have an orange, that would be fine, or you can always click something on the color wheel. Either way, this would be orange too. So however you want to do it, okay? Hit OK, orange. And then I need something green. So let's go to the background layer and hit the transparency. And I'm just going to go ahead and double click here. Oh, that's not going to work. I will go ahead and go here and just do it differently. So there's no right or wrong how you go through this. Because Photoshop has like 2, 3, 4 ways to do everything. And click here, and then I'm going to fill with the foreground color. Again, edit, fill works here too. Edit, fill with foreground color, background color, or you can actually go to color and choose it, right? Okay, so if I want to go green here, I could choose green here. And fill. Okay, so we've got to do it that way too. So I've got purple, I've got green, and orange. And I have too many colors in here, so what am I going to use next? So I've got purple, green, orange. Let's use purple for the mouth, the lips. Double click here. I'm going to click on this purple. Make sure they're all the same. And I guess the neck, double click, will be this color orange. Okay. So kind of go through and do however you want to. And then I'm going to go to my one that I've got completed. Okay, so you're going to go through and get your color schemes down, write all your colors down, making sure that main hue, main base color is in every quadrant. So purple, 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 and purple. Okay, next step is going to be creating, the textures. We're already there. So let's go see what I've got here. Completed quadrants, and now we're adding textures. So how do we do this? This is just kind of be fun. All right. And I'll do one for you, and then I'll just show you what we did. So group 1, I'll turn this off. I don't need them on or open. We're going to go to group 1 and open this up because we want to work on layer 2. Looks kind of silly with this. I must have moved something. did I do? Oh, I brought it in twice. Silly me. Don't get confused. Okay, there's group 1. What we're going to do is add textures, backgrounds, working with different brushes. So I'll go to brush settings, open this up. Brushes came up already, and I've got color in here too. Let me go to the layer 1. So we're working on it. I'll go move this over so we can see everything. I'm going to first select the background layer because the background needs to be monochromatic. Okay. And there is one thing I did forget to go through. Let me bypass this a second, put our groups back on. Once you get your colors in here, you can see that my orange, these colors do not look identical. This green background does not look like this green background. This purple and this purple, yellow, orange, and yellow orange does not look together. So I did bypass a stage here. When you get your colors in here, and we just did the first 2, right? You want to make sure that the background layers are similar in luminosity. Not similar, but actually the same. So I'm going to go ahead and click here for a second and see what this green is. The L is 53. Okay. Let me see what this one is. 22. So I'm going to choose something in between, so like 40. Okay. I'm going to change 40. So we're going to change the background layer. This is group 1. Layer 1. That's 40. Layer 2, this color needs to be 40 in luminosity as well. And fill. So you can see that these colors will change a little bit. So do all your backtracking here for a second. Do your 4 color schemes, then go back and make sure the backgrounds all have the same luminosity. Then we can go back to adding our scribbles and working with brushes and making this kind of fun. So in group 1, being on layer 1, we've got our brushes and colors. The base color for here is going to be the purple, so always go to the selection of the background color first. Then go to brush, get our background color. Keep a monochromatic color scheme, so I'm going to just choose a lighter color. Then go to brushes. Choose something in here. And there's a lot of fun things in here. Your brush settings are kind of cool. You name it. You've got so much control. Angles, roundness, how is it texturizing? All sorts of different things. So I'm going to go ahead and just click in here and put a few things in. A little bit up there too. Okay. You can work with the opacity, the flow, blend mode, I guess, if you want to. That's okay too, but working really more with the brushes. So once you choose one and you're done with it, go back to the eyedropper, grab the color, base color again, choose maybe a different color, go back to brushes, choose a different shape. Not sure what I'm looking for, but it doesn't really matter, just kind of playing around. And let's see what this will do. That's might be the same thing I just grabbed. Let me grab something different. I do like these little dots. I think they're kind of fun. Okay, this is kind of neat. You can overlap, do whatever you want to. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Go back to eyedropper, grab that base color again, back to brushes. I'll put a couple fun things in here a little bit. I'm going to go really light on this one. And you know what? Maybe size. You just keep on going whatever you want to. There's some fun things you want to wet edges. This is actually kind of cool. If we go to wet edges, it'll just start, again, blending colors a little bit. If I go to brushes, undo that. Brushes, there's wet media and, dry media and wet media. Let me go ahead and grab this and see what happens. The size, make it bigger. I've got a really light color, but maybe I want to go a darker color. Let's see what happens here. Strength can be modify to. Okay, bring this down in size. You can see how it's kind of blending together. Maybe strength is less. It's kind of, there's no right or wrong of what you want to do. I don't like the halo, that's silly. But you get the idea. Just kind of play around with everything, see what you can do. These little screen tones are pretty cool. Let me go back dark and go in here. Let me make the size a little bit bigger. And now you've got just screen tones, little dots. Okay, so again, no right or wrong. Just make sure that you go to your layers, your groups, go to the bottom layer. Always start with choosing the background color, then modifying the color you're going to paintbrush with. Grab your paintbrush, try some different things. Maybe I just want some round ones, soft round ones. Pressure, you can change this a little bit too. Whoops. Oh, that's sizes, I'm sorry. Hardness and softness. Sizes, it's all up here too. But just kind of go in here and just trying different things. But, I would say put like 3 different colors in here, 3 different brushes to kind of make it interesting. And when you're all done, let me get rid of this. That's only 1. There's my 4 scribbles, 4 textures. And you can see that I've got the dots in here, simple lines, wet brushes right through here, really some neat effects in here. So just kind of a good time with this, but make sure that you do follow the parameters and requirements, and then that'll be it.